So, who wants a story about out-of-body experiences, trans-dimensional aliens, and me shitting my pants? If so, make yourselves comfortable. I think I've got you covered. This is a trip report of the first time I got that holy shit kind of experience with ayahuasca. It's not the first time I did ayahuasca. I'd actually been through about 6 ceremonies before I got to this particular episode, but this was the one where I really felt the power of the medicine. So it happened on a retreat in the Peruvian jungle. I'd done other psychedelics, so I wasn't a total beginner, and I was desperately looking for this life-changing experience I'd heard so much about. I'd already sat through a couple of ceremonies already on this particular retreat, and I'd had some interesting effects, but nothing that really blew my mind. So I decided then, on that particular night, I was going to push this as far as I could go. On previous nights, I just drank 1 cup, but tonight I was going to double up and drink 2 right at the start. Now, part of the reason I thought this was a good idea is that I was sharing a room with this really peaceful Zen dude called Nick, and he mentioned he was going to drink 2 cups that night, and he always looked like he was having a good time, so I figured if he's drinking 2, then I'm drinking 2. And at the time, that just made perfect sense. Now it's kind of cringy to think how stupid it sounds. So it came to the ceremony, I downed 2 cups of Ayahuasca as my first dose. It was a lot of liquid, I really had to glug it down. I got back to my mat, rinsed my mouth out, and I waited to see what the night had in store for me. At first I remember thinking that not much was happening. I was sitting upright with my back against the wall of the Maloka, I was feeling pretty calm. A little bit of nausea started to wash over me, so I thought I'd better get into my standard purging position, which is on the floor on my hands and knees. Now before I could even move, I heard someone call out, "Whoa! Shit, what was that? Was that me?" Suddenly the purge hits me and I've got my head in the bucket. But even as this is occurring, I'm also stood up slightly to my left, looking down at myself on all fours. There is 2 me's. There's a guy on all fours purging and the guy watching himself purging. The rational thought just cuts through this duality and I realise I'm completely off my tits. I'm currently experiencing 2 parallel timelines. The guy on the mat is still busy throwing up, while the second me is just watching this with jaw-opened amazement at an Alex Grey-style painting as energy floods in through one end of me and passes through the middle and comes back out the other end. I'm both the subject and the spectator of what is going on. Suddenly, I become aware of the presence of someone near me. It's one of the facilitators. "Hey Rob, what's going on with you, buddy?" I desperately struggle to remember this guy's name, but then an even greater challenge to remember what kind of species I am and how to communicate. "Dylan, I don't know what the fuck's going on." His name's actually Dolan, but he's very gracious about me getting his name wrong. "Rob, you need to try and keep your voice down, dude. Try and be mindful of other people's experience." Which is really just the nicest way of telling someone to shut the fuck up. So while purging me is being told to settle down by Dolan, meanwhile astral projection me is in dialogue with the transcendent life force of the universe. "What do you want to know?" it asks. My mind turns blank, like when you bump into someone you admire and your brain just stops working. I guess you could teach me about the planets and stuff? Immediately, a 3rd plane of existence opens. Now, in addition to the puking noisy me and the astral projection me, there is a new parallel timeline, which is me watching the planet Earth spin around the sun. It's like I'm watching one of those astronomical videos which show the different celestial objects to scale, constantly zooming out so that the next object can dwarf its predecessor. This is the Earth, this is the solar system, this is the galaxy, this is the local cluster. The universal intelligence continues to narrate it as my mind's trying to comprehend the vastness of eternity. I'm travelling through hyperspace, my mind is completely blown. Meanwhile, back in the Maloka, back in reality, I'm becoming a problem. I keep shouting out, "Whoa!" and I've started thrashing around on the mat. Dolan asked me to acknowledge if I can understand him, and I managed to scrape enough of my wits together to respond, yes, I understand. But it's just a token gesture. The lights might be on, but I am far from home. Rob, close your eyes. Something's happening around me. I feel like I'm being lifted up, and then something gets sprayed into my face. I recognise the smell of agua florida. The icros are loud in my ears because the shaman has come over to try and calm me down. He blows mapacho smoke onto me, and he's patting me with his leaf rattle. I hear a voice. I think we need to move him. Has something gone wrong? Is this the end of me? Who am I talking to? Was there ever even a me to begin with? Reality is about as far away as it can get. I'm not even sure I'm ever coming back. I'm not sure I even want to come back. My consciousness is just flying through alien landscapes and exploding nebulas. I'm everywhere possible, all at the same time. I can only describe it as amazing while acknowledging that amazing doesn't even come close to describing what's happening. Suddenly, I'm on the floor of one of the shower cubicles. It's as if I've teleported from one place to the other, but I guess the reality is that someone's just carried me out there. The water goes on, it starts pumping through the shower, it instantly saturates the clothes I'm wearing. But I remember thinking, oh, what a blessing, the water. The very thing we need to survive, it falls from the sky. Thank you, water. And then I just burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of this love affair with a shower block. I curl up on the floor of the cubicle, I enjoy the sensation of the cool water splashing against me. And that's when it happens. I just feel my bowels relax and piping hot liquid shit just floods through the underwear. The warmth of its embrace as it slides down my legs is initially kind of comforting, but it begins to sober me up and I come back into my body. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice that Craig, one of the facilitators, has been sat with me. I try and give him a thumbs up in case he's worried that I'm dead or insane, but the movement just comes out as something like, "How are you doing?" he asks with his permanently cheeky face. "Holy fucking shit," is all I can reply. "Do you want to go back into the Maloka, mate?" he asks. So I'm sat there, piss wet through from the shower, top half covered in chunks of puke, bottom half covered in liquid shit. Whatever enlightenment looks like, it ain't nothing like me right now. Sure, man, but I think I need to change my clothes first. And that's pretty much the end of the story. Now, however well I've described it, this whole event was absolutely fucking awesome. One of the best nights of my life, an absolute game changer. It was also one of the most terrifying nights of my life, and it took me a long while to integrate that experience. I actually ended up skipping the following night's ceremony just because I was so internally shaken by what happened. But for sure, it made me a believer in the power of the medicine. Now, I hope you enjoyed that story. And if you like the content here on Adeptus Psychonautica, then please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you next time.